Hey guys, it's Kevin. Welcome to the channel. Today was a rough day in the semiconductor space. There was a lot of red, but there was one or two stocks that refused to go down with the sector. Today's focus, I want to talk about a super stock that I'm referring to as Micron. So Micron had a strong day. They moved opposite of the sector, and the reasons why they did is more important than the price itself. So make sure you stay for the whole video because I'm going to cover three key reasons why Micron had a strong day today or a positive day in a sector sell-off overall. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you like and subscribe to the video. It makes a big difference to the channel, and I appreciate your guys' time. So let's jump in and talk about it overall. So you can see in general, today was a red day, as I mentioned. We had major players in the semiconductor space, such as NVIDIA, Broadcom, ASML, as well as Taiwan Semiconductor, that all moved negatively today. And what the reason was, for the most part, is we saw a lot of investors that were looking to de-risk their position, particularly after President Trump made some comments related to the Greenland tariff threats, and he escalated the rhetoric in that area, heading into his speech tomorrow at Davos. And we saw investors react to that, and they moved their money to safer positions that may have not been affected by the tariffs. They were looking to de-risk overall, but it wasn't just one or two companies. You can see it was the entire sector. So we saw today the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 1.6. The S&P was down just over 2%. And the NASDAQ was down almost 2.5%. We even saw ETFs in the semiconductor space that were down today. So the VanEck Semiconductors was down just over 2.5%, I think almost 3% on the day. So this wasn't one or two stocks. This was a sector-wide movement, a sector-wide selling movement, which makes it interesting that Micron, and you can see Intel as well, and one other, moved against that position. So that really shows that investors are believing in Micron. And there's some reasons for that. I want to show you just overall, if we take a look at how Micron performed today. So Micron finished the day up 0.62%. So they closed at $365 a share, picked up over $2.25 a share today. But look at how they're performing in after hours. So you can see clearly Micron has picked up over $4.56 a share, over a 1.2% in after hours. So Micron is going to head into tomorrow's morning bell with a strong start and looking to perform again tomorrow on January 21st. So keep your eye on Micron. And there's some key reasons why I'm a believer in Micron and why I think they move differently from the market today. One is just AI demand. We're going to hear a quick comment from their CEO in a moment to reinforce that demand and why it's a critical part of the AI boom cycle. But also, there was a key capacity expansion, a key strategic acquisition that Micron snuck under the headlines this weekend that'll mean everything for them to help meet the demand into 26 and 27. And then finally, it's the analyst sentiment and confidence they have in the stock. So let's just jump in and first hear from Micron CEO on what his perception is in the value of memory in this boom right now. So let me jump in, pull that comment up. Sorry, guys. Bear with me for a second. We'll pull that up. And I just want to share this with you. So take a listen real quick.
It's good to see you again. Welcome. I mean, clearly there's so much excitement around your stock and your business because of the shortage in the memory market. How extreme is that right now?
So first of all, good to be back here, seeing you in Davos, always
Same.
Great. And let me just point out that it's not just about the shortage of memory. It is also about the value of memory. You know, AI is now everywhere from data center to the edge. Memory is a key enabler of AI. It is a strategic asset today, not like just a component in the system.
Okay, we'll stop the comments there. What I loved when you saw the CEO pivot, when she talked about just shortage in memory, and he pivoted that conversation to say, we're not talking about shortages. We're talking about the value of memory in the AI space. It's not just data centers. It's everything from data centers to EVs to robotics across the board. That is a key critical component and a tremendous value enabler across all of the AI space. So I loved how he pivoted his comments there and he repositioned it to just show the value of Micron. We know that the high bandwidth memory market is continuing to have significant demands. Also, the DRAM market has continued significant demands, and we know that 2026 supply is sold out, and they're already contracting for 27. So this, again, is giving analysts investors a lot of confidence in the stock. And now I want to shift a little bit and talk about a key acquisition that Micron did over the weekend. So they acquired a fabrication facility in Taiwan. So they picked this up from PowerShip Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation in an all-cash deal for $1.8 billion. This is a key move for Micron that will help them meet the demand not only in the second half of this year, but also heading into 2027. So strong move for them. It shows, again, gives value to investors that Micron is a strong believer in the demand and how they'll be able to meet it, and going out and acquiring a facility for $1.8 billion in cash is a strong testament overall to the company. And then the last piece I just want to talk about is analysts' overall confidence in the stock. So as I showed you the performance earlier, we saw, based on that expansion, as well as just their ongoing performance and demand in the space, we continue to see analysts move their share position for Micron. Earlier today, we saw Stifel move their estimate up 20%. We also saw more bullish with TD Cowen that moved their price point to $450 a share. There are many analysts right now that are saying, based on the demand in the marketplace, we very well could see a fair share price for Micron to be anywhere between $450 to $500 a share, given the tight supply that we see in advanced memory for 2027. And guys, I want you to keep this one piece in mind too. We talked about it before, but Micron currently is trading at a 10 to 11 times forward price to earnings. We also know that if they continue to meet, that we see this AI demand for advanced chips, and if Micron continues to beat their earnings, I think it's fair to apply the average forward price to earnings of 20 to 25 to Micron. That's the average that we see in the semiconductor space, is a 20 to 25x. If we did that, you could see Micron exiting 26 and starting 27, anywhere between a share point of $650 to $825 a share. Guys, that's just my opinion. It's not financial advice. Do your own research, but I'm very strong and bullish on Micron, on what they can do this year and heading into next year. But I will give you this warning as well. I do think we very well could see more negative and more pullback for investors tomorrow after President Trump's speech at Davos. I imagine he will be very bold in his comments related to tariffs. We could continue to see investors pull their money and shift it into less risky positions in the market. But I also believe that we have a number of big mega companies that are going to have earnings calls in the next 2 weeks. And I think that'll help us pivot the conversation and get this semiconductor space moving back into an area of growth because of the demand that we see across the board. So that's the video today. In conclusion, guys, we know that the semiconductor space moved negatively today, but we did see a standout in Micron. They performed differently. They're performing after hours. I expect them to come out strong tomorrow in morning bell, but I'd love to hear your comments as well. What do you think about Micron's performance today? What do you think about Intel? Drop a comment in there as well. And what do you think about the semiconductor space in general? Are you still bullish and feel confidence in this space? Drop a comment in below. But that's what I have for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.